Bet you can't clone me, Coby.
I bet you I can. Challenge is accepted. To clone you, I needed to figure out exactly where you were. I saw you completely lick a Rolls Royce. I then zoomed in on the owner's face and did a Google face recognition search. After 2 hours, I found this picture and it brought me to this guy's Instagram. He's the owner of Specialty Car Wraps. After 2 days, he finally posted on his Instagram story and it was of his Rolls Royce getting towed. That's exactly what I needed. I zoomed in on the background and I saw Nova Market Catering. I did a Google search for Nova Market Catering. I found the exact address in Glendale, California. I took my DNA swab kit from my laboratory and drove straight to that address. Once I saw Nova Market Catering, I knew I was close by. We then turned the corner and see the Rolls Royce that you licked on the tow truck. We pull up directly behind the tow truck and I'm ready to go out and swab your DNA. To my disappointment, the tow truck starts moving, so we follow it. As I'm following the tow truck in the Rolls Royce, all I needed was the car to stop at a red light so I could jump outside and swab your DNA directly on the tow truck. After what felt like 20 minutes, we finally hit our first red light. I instantly jump out my car and go directly to the tow truck. In the middle of traffic, I jump directly onto the tow truck. Out of nowhere, the tow truck starts moving. I am holding on for dear life, but I needed to get that DNA and I was gonna do anything possible to get it. I needed to get directly to the front of the car where you licked so I can swab your DNA directly off the front. Being extremely careful, I finally get directly up to the front of the car where you licked. I take my DNA Q-tip swab very carefully and swab your DNA directly off the exact spot on the Rolls Royce that you licked. I take your freshly swabbed DNA Q-tip and place it in my chemical grade case. I use an extra level of security and place it in my bulletproof casing. I carefully make my way to the back of the vehicle and jump directly off. And I head back to my DNA laboratory to clone you. Back at my DNA cloning laboratory, I took your DNA outside my protective casing. Now, what I did was I had to make sure that it wasn't damaged, so I inspected it. Step 1, my assistant handed me Cytochrome 437 solution, which will separate the obtained DNA from its organism. My assistant then handed me a medical syringe. I extracted already sterile and mixed up solution from my green mercury tank. After filling up exactly half of the syringe, I used the trickling method to trickle drips into the DNA holder. But this does allow the bacteria from the DNA to actually grow. I shook up all components inside my chemical grade case. I then placed the DNA into a vector machine. I carefully covered it up with the cap for stabilization purposes. Now, I turned on the timer for 60 days straight. I let the enzymes cut the DNA at specific sequences. I let it sit till the transformation was complete. This is currently you at 60 days old, and if everything goes correct, I will have you for myself.